Okay, so we're live. Welcome back to the Magic's Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. I made a bit of a boo-boo last week. I said it was show 47. It wasn't. It was show 48. And this one will be show 49. And I'll tell you why that's important in a couple of minutes. I'm really delighted that people loved Will St. Ledger's interview. I loved it. He's a fucking national treasure. He just got so much humanity, love and compassion, and it's fucking brilliant, and he does things for the right reason, and it was lovely. And I got some great feedback on Twitter and Facebook, and people sending me messages, family and friends, were saying they really liked it, and it was eye-opening, some of the stuff that he said. And me too, it was all an education for me too. And that's the thing about doing the podcast. I get the opportunity to have these rich conversations, and I can say, Jesus, I didn't know that. And there's learning. And I know if I don't know it, I'm sure someone out there must not know it either. So that's the whole beauty of this podcast. Also, just with me getting the episode numbers mixed up, I do that all the time. I don't rehearse this, because if I do, I'll make a balls of it, because I don't have the greatest memory. I do things just ad hoc. I just say what I think or what comes on my mind. If I sat down and done this scripted, it would come out absolutely arseways. It probably does come out arseways sometimes, but that's just the way it is. I don't care if I make a few mistakes. I don't care about making mistakes in life. I'm always willing to learn. But hopefully the richness of the podcast is in the content of the interviews and the topics, not the surroundings, this and the sound. If you get lost in all that, put that to the side and get your value from the interviews and what the people say and the topics. That's really the most important part. I've been getting a bit of stick from my friends, slag me that I, in some of the interviews, I smile loads, and my mate's daughter was slagging me about saying I had a cheesy smile and my big cheesy teeth and all. It was just funny, but I don't mind all that. I don't really care, because the content of the interviews I find are fantastic. At first, when when I first started doing the interviews, I wanted the sound to be good, the lighting, the place where we do it. I wanted it all. But then I thought, you know what? What's my aim? The content of the interview, and if that's rich and gets what I want, then that's just enough. And obviously, it has to be, the audio has to be decent, that you can listen. It's not you're not put off by crazy sounds or anything like that. But once the content is bang for buck, that's what I'm after. The rest is just bells and whistles. The rest is just I don't know, add-ons, and if that's good, then great. But the content has to be good. So that's the crack. Will St. Ledger, brilliant guy. The interview today is with Patrick Monahan. Patrick Monahan is a spinal patient from the NRH, where he's not anymore, but he was. But now he does wheelchair marathons. What an amazing young man. His attitude towards his disability, his attitude to life, his fucking achievements is unbelievable. Like, I've interviewed many people on the podcast and spoke to them in the hospital. They have their views on disability, and he has his. His was breathtaking. You could just, it wasn't put on. You can just feel it off him. He just handles it in such a unique way. And I've asked him some questions that I've asked other people with disabilities, and he couldn't answer me. And you'll hear that in the interview. And I was just taken back by it. And he's such an inspiration, such an amazing man, and like, I think from working in disability, I realise the hardships that people go through. So that's difficult enough. It's difficult being a human being. It's difficult enough having a disability, and then on top of all that, to go on then and achieve great success in sport, and not alone just any sport, but wheelchair marathons. It's just phenomenal. So I was absolutely delighted to sit down. I got him through contact through Maeve Nolan in the NRH, who was on the podcast herself. So it's brilliant to sit down and talk to an athlete and hear his insights to how he got to where he got and the success that he's had. So it was a brilliant conversation. Hopefully you will enjoy that. I loved it. He was a great guy. I'd love to talk to him again, after he comes back from Tokyo. But listen to the interview and you'll hear that through. As I said earlier, this is show 49. We're thinking about doing show 50. Maeve Nolan and Rose Curtis, who have been on the podcast before, have asked me they were going to do show 25 or show 20. They wanted to switch around and interview me. And I said it to the team, I said it to Kevin, Aaron, and they think, yeah, it'd be a good idea. You know, they want to hear my story and ask me questions. And people have asked me before about my trip through mental health and the journey that I've been on through my life, you know, as a kid to where I am now, working in the National Rehabilitation Hospital. I don't know, I don't see it as anything special. I don't see myself as anyone special. I don't see anyone as fucking special. I think we're all, well, I do think everyone is special and unique in their own way, but you know what I mean. I don't think I'm any different to the rest of the people. Just doing what I do and trying my best to be a decent human being. I wasn't always that way, and I can forgive myself for that. But yeah, so that's gonna be the episode 50. I think we're looking into. I'm fucking absolutely shitting thinking about doing it. But you know what? People have been good to me and come on the podcast and reveal their story and been, you know, really honest and open. And you know what? I can do that too. And hopefully there'll be a bit of learning from it. So look, that's the crack. That's where we are today. Hopefully you enjoying the interviews. Hopefully enjoying the video interviews. Hopefully my mate's daughter is still enjoying me cheesy smiles. Ella Bella. So yeah, have a listen to the interview. Let us know what you think. Subscribe on iTunes, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a review. All that kind of stuff. As always, I'll thank Noel Riley from Rooney Media Graphics, Carolyn Harvey from ISA Nutrition, and you, the listeners and the watchers. Mind yourself, be compassionate to you, be sound to yourself, and you will be sound to the rest of the world. Have a great day. Catch you later. Bye bye. So we're live. Welcome to the Magic Minds podcast. I'm Matt Burke. On the show today, I've Paralympian Paddy Monahan. Paddy, what's the crack?
Not too bad yourself, man.
Not too bad. How's tricks?
Can't complain, yeah. Near the end of the day now, so happy days, yeah.
How's the weekend?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Weather helps. Nothing wild for me these days now, just getting on with training, that, but good training kind of, so bit of time with the girlfriend, have to get that in as well, but yeah, just
the girlfriend part, that's the most important, isn't it?
And she might say that alright, yeah, but
stop.
We'll cut that out, will we?
Yeah, we'll just say training is more important.
Yeah.
Look, I've asked Paddy to come on the show today because, as I say, Paddy is a Paralympian. Spinal injuries, wheelchair, 800 and marathons. Yeah,
that's basically it, yeah. In a nutshell, bit of track. I don't know how much longer that'll last. Marathon is obviously my better event, but spinal cord injury 12 years ago as well, yeah. So I think we'll probably get into that in more detail, but yeah. Yeah,
so that's what I said. I've asked Paddy to come on. As I say, he's an Olympian. I'd like to get an insight to his life and how he led to that point. Just what you said there a minute ago, 800, so that's the shorter, that's the track stuff. That obviously takes a lot more toll on the body than the marathons, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I suppose you have to have a different body type for it as well. Maybe, like I had my accident when I was 21 and I'm 6'1", like, so I'm heavy for a spinal cord injury, like heavier than some of the guys that were born like spina bifida and that. Yeah. Get off the line quicker acceleration, that, so I'm not built for the track stuff, kind of, really. So
gotcha.
Getting sick of getting my ass handed to me at this stage, kind of. So yeah. But so I'll do it this year. Maybe I'll talk to you about, like, marathon is the main kind of focus, like. So I think it's just kind of working on what works for me, really. My strengths going forward, kind of. So yeah. Cool.
Give us a little insight to your life before the injury. As you say, you were 21.
21, yeah. Just gone 21. The turn of the year 2007, I was an apprentice plumber at that stage. I think I was in my third year. Just sort of typical lad at that age, really, going out, socialising, plenty of drinking, chasing women or whatever else, kind of. Played senior football from 17, 18, kind of. Done athletics, all, like, so I was quite fit, I suppose, yeah. Mainly team sports and that type of thing, but just a normal 21-year-old, probably with a heavy foot on the right hand side on the old accelerator, unfortunately, and that was my downfall. So
yeah, but the injury came through speeding in the car.
Basically, yeah. Like I had a crash that resulted in the spinal cord injury, but I actually had probably a worse one than that 6 months before that toppled the car 6 times at a hefty speed, like, and lucky enough to get away with pretty minor injuries, like, and obviously we can learn the lessons. And
so you had 2 serious accidents
in the space of 6 months, kind of. Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. And then obviously got back. I got back on the road pretty quick, and I was going to work on a Monday morning, and wasn't excessively speeding, but I was going too fast for, I suppose, the road I was on, like, and just lost control of the car, and
car flipped, did it?
Car flipped, yeah. Remember, like, it was yesterday when I was heading towards, like, the left, kind of, there's a house here, and I don't think I braked at all. I think I tried to control the car and keep it going. Small narrow country road where I'm from, down in Kildare, and ended up hitting the bank on the right hand side of the road and just, like, flipped up and down onto the roof, like, kind of. So
Jesus.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a day I'll ever forget, like, kind of. Yeah.
Did you know from the get-go, from when the car flipped, that there's something serious had to happen here?
Well, I knew there was something. I suppose I knew there was something seriously after happening. As in, I'm after crashing again, and my initial feeling was one of, I suppose, embarrassment nearly. I was like, here I am again, 6 months down the road, and there was, like, people probably going to school and they're going to drive by on the buses and see me upside down in the ditch.
And that went through your mind?
That was like that was one of my first thoughts. My first actual thought was, I wonder if I can get out and topple this car over, and there'll be feck all damage done, and I'll be able to continue on going to work. Like, it actually took me, I think it was around 15-20 minutes before I realised that there was something seriously wrong with my body, like.
Yeah.
And that was more than an embarrassment and a walk of shame or something, like.
Yeah.
A neighbour from up in the village came across, and he had asked me to try and move away from where I was in the car. My leg was wrapped around the steering wheel, kind of like what looked like an uncomfortable kind of position for my leg, and it was then when I tried to move myself from where I was, I realised, like, that not knowing a lot about paralysis, but I knew that there was something, like, seriously wrong at this stage, kind of. Yeah, so it was a bit I wasn't thinking about flipping the car over and going on my journey to work anymore. There was other things going through my mind at that stage.
So give us an insight then to the life that you were then leading. What was it like for you when you had the injury? Where did you go from there? Were you in
where I went, like, so, like, well, like, obviously I went to the Mater then, like, I surgery later on that night, kind of brought in for surgery, and then I would have spent 6 weeks in the Mater recovering, and then I obviously came to the NRH, and I spent another 3 months on our ladies ward, but you're still, I don't know, I was in shock for all, like, it's like, I don't know, I think I was still hoping that by some chance I was going to get back on my feet, and it's strange looking back. I don't think I took a lot in, really, what the therapists were telling me and things like that I was just hoping that the chair wouldn't be a thing that would be a companion with me for a permanent, like, it was a permanent thing, kind of, just like,
it was only with you because you're in the hospital.
That's it, yeah. And I was going to, even coming here from the Mater, like, I thought that I was going to wheel in here and I can go out doing cartwheels or something, like, a couple of months later. That's how I felt, like they were just going to be able to do something here.
Was that a young man mentality, or was that just?
I think it was a couple of things. It was probably that. It was me, obviously, trying to remain positive, or like that, hopeful that something was going to happen. And I think the other thing was, like, my lack of knowledge of spinal cord injury. Like, if I seen someone in a wheelchair, like, everyone in a wheelchair was nearly the same to me. Like, their legs didn't work, and that was, without being ignorant, like, but that's my, I didn't know anyone close enough to understand, like, that obviously there's various levels of the spinal cord injuries and disabilities and things like that, kind of. So I just presumed anyone in the chair, like, it was more like either the high level or that your legs just didn't work. And yeah, so my knowledge of a spinal cord injury, I suppose I had to learn the hard way, kind of. Yeah.
At what point then did the realisation come? When was the turning point for you that you realised, fuck, we got a problem here?
I don't actually remember that point, but I remember a really tough day that it was still when I was in the matter. It was probably a week before I came here, and my consultant came in and told me that again, like I was like in bed bound for the weeks and still thinking I was going to be playing football. And he just basically said, you'll be moving to the NRH in the next few days, and the bed becomes available. You'll be learning like how to live an independent life again and how to use the wheelchair and all. Like, and that hit me like a hammer. Like. And it's not when I look back now, I can kind of laugh and I'm like, you were lying in the bed for 5 weeks, like, and like this didn't go through my mind really at all. Like, it probably did go through my mind, but I wasn't thinking clear, like kind of. And it was only when he said it, like, it kind of hit me, like.
You didn't just join the dots up.
No, that's it, yeah. So I was like, what did he just kind of tell me, like, and like that was devastating, like. So that's when I realized, I suppose, I still came to the NRH hoping that something could happen, but like that was kind of a big kind of blow for me that like this is like for life really, like kind of. And then another kind of point where that might hit home is when I actually left here. I was like this is what they can do for me. Like I didn't really realise the little gains that he had made just because you're looking at people getting mobility back, but I made big progress here. But I was kind of like, I'm going home the same I came in nearly, like, so this is me now, like. So that was a kind of a point that I realised kind of that you're looking forward to going home, but at the same time this is like as far as they can bring you, like. So that was kind of going home as it's mixed kind of feelings for a lot of people, I think, because you want to get home, but at the same time it's like this is as far as you're going, the progress is going to go, which is not really, like, but in your head it kind of is, like.
There's a realisation here.
Yeah. So.
Did you, as you said, you were devastated? Did you experience any, like, I know people have been in the same position as you, any dark times? Did you go forward? Or
not really.
Did you accept it?
Obviously there was tough days where you needed like the support of family and friends. But I never felt like I was never depressed or anything like that.
No.
And again, was that because I was so like trying to cling on to like that there's a chance, all that
doesn't
like,
matter.
Because that's probably what got through. That's probably what got me through. The matter probably should have been my toughest days because I was in the bed. Obviously, I had great family and friends. I had visitors every night that nearly got to the stage where like, here, feck off, and I kind of leave me alone. But every night, but like during the day, you're there by yourself and you're up early, like. And I think I was trying to cling on to that hope. And if I didn't have that, sure, then you might have had them dark days. So it probably served me well that I kind of had that mindset in some ways. Like obviously, then when I got to the NRH, you're kept busy, and when you get home, you're kind of trying to get going again. So I think that kind of mindset helped me not get into really dark days.
Sleep into it.
And the other thing is that when I look back at it, like, and I think it helped me through it as well, it was self-inflicted. I was looking around the world, and there was people that like had really like found themselves in a really unfortunate kind of situation where it was out of their control. But at the end of the day, I done this to myself in some ways.
Wow, that's a strength of character. There was no blame, and even for a young man, I know if I was like 21, I know where I was like, my 21-year-old would be very resentful and angry at the world. Yeah, I'm not getting that from you.
Yeah, I think it's strange how your mindset changes, though. Like, because if someone even had told me, like, I try to put myself in scenarios, like, if someone had told me a month before, at my 21st birthday, so a month or two before I had my accident, that in 3 months' time you're going to be in a wheelchair, like, I think I would have, like, fucking jumped off a bridge and everything. Like, I would have been, like, I don't know, obviously it was devastating, but I think people that
you'd have predicted that you would have handled
a
lot worse.
Oh yeah. I think people just kind of, and I don't know, your mindset just changes when, like, I'm not unique, because you see it on the awards, like a lot of people in worse situations than me do the exact same thing, like.
I know, but your attitude is quite unique. It's kind of, there's a great strength of character about it.
Yeah.
I'm not just blowing smoke with your hole. I'm just thinking you've done really well for a 21-year-old. I'm thinking that's savage.
I suppose you see your family upset and that, and then like I was thinking, like, I'm the cause of this, kind of, like, so like you have to kind of try and say it. Not that I was always strong, like you obviously needed them at times, but you have to try and just suck it up and get on with it, because they're nearly affected more than you, because they do anything, they give you the world if they can, but like they can't do anything. They feel helpless, like, kind of. So
Yeah, people talk about that. Families say, if I could take it, I'd take it for them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And as I say, even with the job I do on the brain injury,
yeah,
if it happens to a family member, it happens to the rest of you. They're all under the umbrella.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Everyone's a victim.
Yeah. And I often think it was harder for them looking at me like if I was to put one of my brothers and if I was to put him in my situation and we swapped like I think I'd nearly have darker days if I was him. Then I had the darker days like being the patient like so.
Do you talk about that as a family? Do you have a strong family unit?
We're a strong family unit, but not really being honest. Like maybe
just get on with it kind of
start, but like I was never treated any different. That's the way I wanted it to be. Like
brilliant. Obviously,
if you needed a bit of help or something, that they were there for you, but I wasn't treated as I wasn't sick or that. Like get out and get on with it. And same with my friends, like great friends, like just got on with it. Like the chair was nothing to them, kind of. So like you need that as well, and that really helped me get kind of that foundation, kind of to build myself or whatever. Like kind of because without that, like even though I probably was strong at the time, like you don't get through without that, kind of, So yeah,
deadly. So when you get out of hospital, what was the next path? Back to work?
Yeah.
Where'd you go from there?
That was actually tough when I left like the hospital because I was looking forward to a lie-on, like, 'cause you're obviously in the ward, you're up at 7 or whatever it is, but I took that to another level, like, kind of. So like I was like I live out in the country, and like obviously family had to get on, like whether they're in college, work, or school, whatever it was, a mixture of the different things. Like so, you're at home during the day by yourself, like, and I don't know, I was in a bad routine, like I was probably awake a lot of the night, like, and then sleeping. I remember those days I was getting up out of bed for my dinner, like. And I was just like, no, I didn't go on for a long time, but I actually got back to, like, obviously I wasn't going back plumbing, so I was lucky that, again, family, that my cousin was quite high up in one of the banks, and she was like, look, do you want to give it a go, like? And, like, the bank were really supportive and found, like, some of the buildings would be quite old and that, like, so they found a branch that was close to home that was fully accessible, and I went in there, like, I probably went back there after maybe 3 months and I was originally like to work 20 hours.
3 months after your
I left here, maybe. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And try just to, I don't know, strange. Like, we were actually, like, the fatigue and stress talk was today, like, and I was just saying, like, I actually had more energy when I went back, like just doing nothing at home, but I actually had no energy, and I like fatigue was a big thing, kind of. So by me getting out of the house, having a routine, I went back working 20 hours a week. I think after 2 weeks I was working way more than I was going in on the days I wasn't meant to go in. Now, I might not stay in all day, but I was kind of like, just I could build something here for myself, and like this is a normal kind of life, and I'm not fucking still in bed waiting for my dinner, like. So I got back working probably 5 days a week within a couple of months anyway after that, kind of. So definitely within 6 months of leaving here, like.
Brilliant.
And like, yeah, it was, and like really good for my confidence, meeting new people, and like, and that was really important, like, for having the family and friends, but to take me outside. Me remember going in there for the first day, like, and from going, like, being a plumber to going into the bank, like, and like meeting, I knew no one there, like, and then like you're conscious of the chair and all as well, like. Remember like being like the nerves, like the night before and that morning driving down, like, but after the first day, like, you couldn't meet nicer people, like, and that, like, and like that really helped me, like, confidence wise, like, kind of move on with my life, kind of, like. So,
really?
Oh yeah. Now, not that I had to go back that early, but like, like, I needed something like that to really kind of make me feel normal, if you want to put it like again. Integration back into society. Yeah,
and the longer you leave it, the harder it gets,
doesn't
it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
just jump straight in.
Yeah, and I was lucky to have that opportunity as well, because
class.
It's like it's probably hard for people, like, anyone really to get opportunities at times, like, so, you know. Yeah.
When did the racing come in? When did the idea for chair racing come in?
Racing, so I probably 2012. I seen the Paralympics in London, and David Weir was the guy, like, that was winning all the medals. Like, just they look like amazing, and the speed they could go and all, like, and the crowd that were there and all, like, in like 80,000 in the Olympic Stadium. So and then it was like, I'd always played team sports, but then I was kind of like, well, I want to give sport a crack here, like, and that was kind of like for my family and that as well, because I was always into sport. I was like, they would like, I was out getting locked every weekend, like, oh, I'm going to give sport a go next week, and I was like, just yeah, you are going to,
the
like,
pubs in
they're
full of potential.
Yeah, like I don't think a lot of people honestly thought I was going to like bite the bullet or make that step and like kind of just change, like give it a go, like. And then I just remember, like, probably hungover, and I was like, I really need to do something here, like. And so I contacted IWA Mark Barty, and lucky enough Mark was able to get me a chair to go out and give it a go. Like,
Mark.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, only for Mark, I sure like to get a chair, like, get involved, point in the right direction. Sure, he's still doing it now, like. So he got me a chair in 2013 and just start trying
And what did you start training, and what did you get into? Just doing track work?
I didn't have a clue, being honest, what to do. I just said I'd go out and push, like.
Is that one of those chairs, the normal hand propelled ones, or the other ones?
It's hand propelled, but it's not the one with the gears and all. It's like
so it's not like the one you're using now.
No, it's a kneeler. It's a 3-wheeler one. So I'd kneel in it instead of sitting like this. And your technique, you wear these, like, you can wear leather or rubber gloves, or I have these aquaplast gloves. They're like kind of like what a gum shield is. They're formed for my hands, and you actually punch the wheels. Then you're not actually gripping it like this at all. Like.
Okay.
So it's a lot more it's efficient than this is. Like it, like I wouldn't push too far in this, like, without the shoulders burning up a bit. Like, but
yeah.
It's once you get the technique right, it's but yeah, it was something completely different. Like, so, like, I had that chair for 2 weeks at home, and I was looking at it, going, I want to get into you and all, like, but I was afraid to try and even get into it, like, because
why?
I don't know, like, it's just it was daunting, like it looked really awkward to get into it, and they are actually quite awkward to get into, and I don't know, I think I was kind of like, if I got into it, I was like committing to it, like. So even though I had it, I was kind of like, do I really want to, like...
Yeah, how much do you want it?
Yeah, so and then, like, although, like, it was strange, even though I'd worked through that 5 or 6 years, 6 years at that stage in the bank, and confidence, and I'd been out and all, like, it was another thing that I had to step outside my comfort zone. I didn't want to be seen. So there's ring roads around Ace like that I could go on, and like great facility for training that, and I was like, I don't want anyone to see me in this chair, like that knows me, like. So I went out to Punchestown Racecourse with a few of my friends, and like.
Why, looking back now, why do you think that was? What was it that you didn't want? Was it?
I think I still had an issue with some people seeing me in the chair, like.
Okay.
Like, even though, like I said, I met the new people in the bank and all that, like I would never have got diesel from a car, like my local petrol station. I would drive. I wouldn't drive an hour away, but I'd drive like an extra 10 minutes petrol station that there's a good chance. I didn't want people. I still at that time, I don't know, I was uncomfortable with people that, because I played GA and that.
Yeah.
A lot of people still hadn't seen me.
Right. It's still pretty early in your injury, though. You
yeah.
still come to terms with acceptance.
Yeah.
It's understandable.
Yeah. And I'm grand right now, like, but it was still like it's strange how different parts of my disability I came to terms with a lot quicker. Like,
right.
Going back to work, I had no problem meeting new people there, but it was the people that I knew before that didn't know me in the chair. I didn't want them to know me in the chair. I wanted them to remember me as the guy.
You were holding on to that.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been around if I wasn't playing football, I wouldn't have been around my local village. Like, my friends from school weren't from my local village, like, so it's not like I would have been socialising up in like the local pub or that. So there wouldn't have been a reason for them to really see me. So yeah, it's kind of something that went on for a few years nearly.
Right.
That like people didn't see me, like, kind of, so I kind of held on to that, like, and that's half the reason why I didn't want to be this certain road that I could have trained on. Was like 5 minutes away from home, so there was a strong possibility that, well, there was going to be people that would see me, like. But I went out on it after another couple of weeks, and again, that was something that kind of I never looked back really, like. Yeah. So so that was 2013, but just went out pushing for as long as first day I done 2 mile or something, like, and the arms were gone, like, and gradually built it up, like, to like maybe 10-15 miles out on these roads, like. And one of my friends was running with me at the time, like, and like he was nearly quicker than me, like, so like that shows how, like, he's a good runner, but like the chair should be a good bit quicker, like.
Yeah.
I'd catch him on the downhill, he'd pull away on the flats, and but it was great, like, that I had that kind of thing, and done the Dublin Marathon that year and nearly killed me. Like, but it's not the way you should really go about it. You should, if you had a coach at that stage, you should start at the sprints to the 800s to the 15 and work your way out up to marathon. But because I knew nothing else and where was I going to go, and one of the guys in the IWA was like, oh, try the Dublin Marathon. Like, and I was like, sure, all right, sure. I remember even driving up that morning going, I can't do this. Like, now it is a bit easier. You don't have to have the same preparation as a runner would. In some ways, I think you get away with, like, I didn't have a lot of preparation for it, but like, it's a little bit different than running. You'll get away with it in parts, like. But yeah, it was great. Like, I was out the day after that Dublin Marathon, like, training again. I was like, I want more of this kind of like
buzz.
Yeah. So
deadly.
Yeah.
I read in an interview that you said it's extremely difficult and it's one of the most difficult of the sports. What makes it so difficult?
What makes it difficult? It's just hard on the body. Like even the hand cycling. Like, obviously, it is very tough. But you have the gears, and it's more fluid. Like, my sport it's impacting on the joints and the shot. Like, you're punching the wheels. Like, so it's quite, like, the impact is quite severe. My shoulders are would scream at you, telling you that, like, my shoulder health wouldn't be great at times. Just the position as well. Then, like, when you're my level of injury, like, and your chest is on your knees, like, it's hard on the breathing kind of, and your sitting position and that type of thing. So it's hard on the hands, and it's just like a lot of people don't like it because it's an uncomfortable position to be in the chair, like, and that, like. But it's just I suppose, but any sport really is. Once you're giving it your all, it's going to be tough on you. But it's just the impact on the joints and that kind of is quite severe, like, kind of. So
and you can't exactly distribute it with the rest of your body. It's predominantly upper body. So I'm sure. And your day to day is upper body, and then more of upper body. I'm sure has its wear and tear.
Like I have tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, like, just flares up, and I've had injections in my shoulders because my shoulder health wouldn't be great. Like, tendon snapped in my finger, like, pushing last year, like, and just have to, like, things like that, like, just from the impact, like, kind of. So I don't, like, our finger could be like twice as bigger than my big toe at times, and then just like from, so if I with the gloves I have, if it was raining, like, so one day I went to push and you're pushing down, and with the rain I slipped and so my thumb just hit off the ground.
I'm looking at the black fingers. Black nails. That's a common occurrence, obviously. Like
in calluses and things like that. But that's normal, kind of. They're not too bad. It's just the impact mainly, and it's all, I suppose, from my level of the classification I fall into, because I'm paralysed from like T6, T7 and around that area. Don't have my core, like, so I'm down on my knees, so everything's going through my shoulders, like. Whereas I have a bit of core, you can come up and, like, use your upper body into your, so everything's kind of going through the shoulders, like, so. But I don't know, like even in the likes of the Dublin Marathon, like, there's a couple of hills, like, they are tough to get up. But I often say to the runners, like there's there around mile 20 where there's a downhill that's like, I could drink a cup of tea on the way down it. My legs, like, sitting up, like, and I'm hitting 60 kilometers an hour, and I'm looking at my average speed going, oh, nice one, this is going up, like. And that's probably a 2-minute freewheel down there.
Little rest period for you.
Yeah, that's a rest period for me. That must be for a runner torture, because you're after getting up all the tough heartbreak hill now. Your legs are screaming at you, and your legs are actually trying to make you run faster than you want to run, like. So, like, where I'm getting a nice breather there, like 15-20 seconds makes a massive difference to us, like. So to get 2 minutes, 2 minutes is
clear the lactate.
Happy days, yeah.
You fix me old computer here. No, you went from being like a normal Sunday player, Joe Soap, average dude. You gone to an Olympic sport, being an Olympian. Where did that come from? Like how did you go from an ordinary Joe Soap to such a high competitive?
A lot of training and sacrifice. I left the bank in 2013. Like, I had intentions of going back at, like, but just with the sport, like, I don't know, train twice a day, but it's not like I'll do an hour and then I'm free for, like, if I go to Dublin, like, if I'm training in the Phoenix Park, like, I have an hour's commute in the morning. Like, by the time I sit off the chair and have to go, like, another 20 minutes, half an hour, do my push, put the chair back in, drive another hour, like, ends up being a 4-hour thing, like, just to do an hour. So it takes up a lot of time, and then you have a second one to do, like, later on in the day, like. So like even if you only train for 2 hours in a day, it's actually like the more getting yourself there and the preparation that takes up your time. So it's a lot of sacrifice that you have to kind of, I don't know, put other things on hold and that, like. But initially when I got involved in it was to just like, I don't know, like I was always competitive. Like, so even back in 2013, I was kind of thinking in the back of my head, like, could I get to that level? Like, I was just thinking that way. Like, I didn't know whether I'd be any good at it, but again, I've been lucky. Like, I've been lucky with the family I had, like getting the job. Like, and then I met a coach in 2014, Ian Murphin. I met him by chance up in Belfast. There was no one in Ireland to coach me, like, and I just remember saying to him, "Will you give me a program?" Like, and he gave me his business card, like, and he thought he'd never, like, he said to me, like, he didn't think he'd hear from me, like, and I was on to him as soon as I got home. So, can you, like, as we discussed, like, and since then he's been like coaching me distance, like, so he'll give me a monthly program with my 2 sessions every day, like, so I can see like a month in advance, and if I need to change anything.
Is this performance based, or is it what does he coach you in? Is it just technique?
Performance based technique, like technique not as much now, because my technique, although it's not perfect, like it's what it is kind of now, because I've been pushing. Yeah, so for the first 2 years, sending him, like, he would have came over and I would have been over there, and I still see him like at competitions and things like that, like, but I'm going to Tenerife to train him next week, and then he'll be at London Marathon maybe, like, so I see him quite a bit, like, but
does he compete?
No, he's able-bodied as well, like, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah, where some of them actually, some of the coaches are like other countries are retired para-athletes or that type of thing, but no, he's from the able-bodied, like, but he's been working with para-sport like for a long time, and he understands it quite well, like, so.
So would he work out your distance to do per day? Would he strength and conditioning?
Yeah, he works, like, so he does a program, so he'll send me like it's mainly in minutes or kilometers, so he'll say do a 30-kilometer push at 90% push, so I'll know roughly, like, by my speed or that, like, kind of, or by feel, or then it's like I do like a treadmill type thing, so it could be like 3-minute sprint, 2-minute easy, and that, like, an interval things for an hour and a half type of thing, like, so just kind of breaks it down. But then he just puts in S&C, but I'm in the Institute of Sport for my S&C and all the supports there, like, so brilliant. Sports science and all that type of thing up there, like, so he doesn't get involved in my S&C really. He's overlooked it, he's been over and he's happy with what's going on, but they drive it and change my program up there and work things around, like, so it's good that cool. Like, you have that type of thing. But
what's it you were telling me? You just said a minute ago, the treadmill. What's that workout? Tell us.
It's kind of like a treadmill. It's just called a set of rollers. So basically, it's like a big cylinder on the back of.
Never seen that.
No, yeah. No. So the back wheels sit on a cylinder type thing. You clamp it down in the front, and it's just basically like, it's like a turbo trainer. That, so if the weather's absolutely crap.
And where do you have that? Where do you do that?
You have it at home, like.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have it at home in one of the rooms, like. You can get portable ones that you can bring.
Are they expensive, or where'd you get that from?
You can get people to make them. Even I think my ones were like probably like under $1,000 maybe, or like. But I've had them for 5 years now, like, kind of. So yeah, so like. So
if the weather's shit, you can just do stuff at home.
You need to be out in the rain a little bit as well, because
get weathered.
Some lads can't push in rain, like, and it's not getting wet. It's the grip. So because we're punching, you lose, like, you're not getting traction, like, so you need to be out practicing different things in the wet, like, kind of. But I still often end up just sitting, and if it's lashing out, I won't go out, like, but I don't mind if I'm out and I start training, I'll stay out in it, but it's just kind of hard to
get motivated
when you're in the heat and you go, I'll sweat it out on the rollers, kind of, but so it's just for the crap weather, if the snow, or even like for the sprint sessions, it's good because you can put the head down. Like, I train in Mondello a good bit, but like, there's nowhere in Mondello I can put my head down for 3 minutes and push flat out.
There's turns.
Yeah, there's turns, or there's that little downhills that I'm not actually. So it's good for that, like, that I can just not worried about cars, deers in the Phoenix Park, anything like that. I just put the head down, tourists, so put the head down and sprint, like. So I like doing the rollers, but on that, like, but I don't like doing like an hour fast on the rollers. It's like torture, because I'm looking at the ground, like. I can't look at TV or nothing.
Like a hamster in a way.
Yeah, so that's a lovely tile or something that I've been looking at for the last fucking 4 years.
You'd get disorientated. Just look at the ground, same.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So then you look at your speedometer, and it's like 1 minute done, 59 minutes to go, and you're like, snot's coming out of your nose, and there's blood in your. So it's not a good look, but it just has to be. has to be done if the weather's
Yeah.
terrible. Lucky the winter's been pretty good this year. Like I've got out 'cause the quality of training's better outside anyway. Like kind of so
savage.
You can take in the scenery as well and that kind of thing.
You've cracked a couple of records as well, haven't you? Give us an insight to that.
Probably a couple of years ago. I haven't done it since.
No.
Hopefully this year now. Like I don't know what the Irish record in the marathon was before I done it. Like, but I've definitely knocked 10 minutes or more off it. Like in the wheelchair. Like, mine is 1:29:10, an hour and 29 minutes and 10 seconds. Done that in South Korea, not last year, the year before, and 800 meters probably in my classification. I have it as well. A minute and 43 seconds. It's not great. Like it's not bad. It will probably qualify you, but it's not really competitive at the top level. Like saying the guys can sprint so fast. Like I think I'm capable of beating that now still. Like, but even when it comes to majors, like the race are tactical, and with 200 meters to go, like it'll be slow for 600 and then 200 burn up. And I need a my strength is race all out, kind of
balls to the wall.
Like that's all. Like where these guys have a turn of pace. Like so, probably hold Irish records in the 5k, like obviously the half marathon, like probably even the 400, which is pretty fucking bad. Like someone will come along and beat that fairly handy. I'd say 800, 1500 kind of. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully I'll get a couple of them down this year. Now I didn't have a great year last year. I had shoulder problems at the start of the year and just messed up a bit my winter training. Like I missed maybe.
Must be very hard to manage your injuries.
Yeah. It's just like, and I'm not. I try to just plough on like nearly and a bit of DP and a few anti-inflammatories and that, like. But I learned that doesn't really work and
go through
nearly overtraining, like kind of. So I've more recovery sessions now and pushing better this year. So hopefully I'll knock whatever about the rest of them. But if I want to knock a marathon PB out because I'm in shape to knock that time down, like kind of. Yeah. So like Boston, like sure, I'm doing Boston in 3 weeks. I could do 1:22 or that there, but it's not a legal course because of the profile. But I still want to go there and do 1:22 if everyone else is doing something like that. So
your old ego's not going to allow you to do any less.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What failures would you think have been your greatest success when it comes to your racing?
What failures?
Yeah.
That's a good one. What failures would be my biggest success? I don't know.
What have you learned from that you've made mistakes, whether it be the life or your racing? It's a bit of a philosophical one, isn't it? It's a bit deep.
Yeah.
For Monday afternoon.
I don't know. Like in the sport, like I'm always learning. I don't think I've ever made like a mistake that's like being detrimental or that type of thing. Like, but I don't know. Maybe in life, definitely. Obviously, my crash to me, like it was a failure of some sort. Like I don't know. Like I definitely appreciate things a lot, like the small, simple things a lot more. Like that, even to this day now, it hasn't wore off. Like you think after a couple of years after the injury and getting on with life, you'd kind of go back to some of your bad habits or that. But I don't know. I'm definitely a better person for it anyway. Like so, I don't know whether that answers it kind of in some ways, but
What does the training for the Olympics? What have you got coming up? You've got Boston coming up, and then you have, is it Tokyo?
Tokyo next year, yeah.
So what's your training look like for that? What's your schedule?
Never ends really, kind of. Twice a day, 6 days a week, maybe two weeks off in the year, or maybe towards the end of the year. Might get the odd few days here and there, which is kind of important. But yeah, I don't know. Like this year, like standards aren't out yet, but I think in the last couple of years I was like, you get invited to races because you're at a good level, and it was nearly I'll go here because they're inviting me. Like, and it's not the way. You don't go everywhere. Like kind of. So I want to just get good quality races in this year that are ones that are potentially fast, like that will get me a standard, and I'm not bothered going somewhere that, like obviously with a spinal cord injury, like and flying long haul, that like the risk of picking up like immune system's probably not as strong as it was, a kidney infection, things like that. Like so,
especially in the plane, you pick up flus and colds.
Look, you don't get that many. Like, but I just need to kind of prioritize. So I'll do like London is the World Championship marathon, but I don't really like London. It's not a great course for me.
Why is that? Shape?
I don't know. Yeah, it's technical. So I'm a T53 and I don't have my core. It suits the guys that are in the T54 class. We're all in together anyway. But there's like at one corner in particular, at mile 3, that I'm in the lead pack and then I'm gone because I don't even look at my speedometer. But coming down here, like there's like the last couple of years, there's 20 something of us, and it's a roundabout, but you go anti-clockwise around it and take like the second exit over here at around like whatever it is, like 10 o'clock, and like it's a sharp bending, and I don't feel I have the control in the chair because I don't have the core to actually take that corner at full speed. And the Japanese and that are like gone around it like crazy, like.
Are they? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then last year like there was one American lad that like went kind of off and like hit a lamppost, like, and neither were like at probably over 50 kilometers an hour. He could be dead, like.
Fuck.
So I'll probably even go down and slower this year. Like I only nurse the brakes slightly, but like they're just, it goes on, this goes around the car and it goes on for like, and you go from being here to they're out of sight nearly. So and I think 2 years ago I knew that was there, and I was like, oh, last year I'll definitely like I know better this year, but I couldn't do it, like. So unless I really like close the eyes and hope for the best, like I'll be gone again. And it's just, yeah, it's a tough course, like take a good bit out of you, like. So I considered not doing it because there's actually one in Korea that I usually do the week after, and that would be my big focus because it's legal and it's where I got my PBs. Like it's fast.
What's Korea like?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Korea. Like I don't get to see an awful lot in there. We're actually right at the Olympic, the Olympic torch, like wherever that is, like not the stadium itself, but like where the accommodation, like the village and all would have been. Like the facilities are amazing still. Was it 1998 or 88 that Seoul was? Maybe like people are really friendly, but at times like they're a little bit over friendly, like kind of. So you're given like a translator or someone like that, an assistant that like kind of comes around with you, and that like you get one each, and it's literally like you're knackered going to bed, and she's like, "What time are you having breakfast at?" And the lift is closing, like, and they're waiting for you like outside their door in the morning. It's like, right, like just give me a few minutes to myself, like. But no, the people are lovely, like, and like even the like in general, like Japanese, Korean racers are some of the nicest kind of. Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's I don't know, I'm just fascinated by Korea in general. Like it's obviously near the North Korean border and that, like, and
deadly. Yeah,
so but yeah, they're nice people, and it's like a good fast marathon, which is the main reason. Like,
who looks after your nutrition? Is that something? Have you got a nutritionist or just the sports? I'm not actually like. I'm not really strict with my. But do you know you don't?
I'll eat, like, if someone gave me like a bar of chocolate, I'm not going, I can't have that, like. Like,
do you monitor what you eat? Do you put it?
Yeah, like I don't. I'm not tracking my calories or anything like that. Like, but I eat healthy, like I do eat really healthy, like, and just making sure that I have enough fuel in me, that I'm not kind of, there's not a deficiency there, more important kind of for me.
That's
like
what
that.
I think of performance, nutrition.
Yeah, like there's nutritionists there available to me in the Institute of Sport. Like I touch base with them every couple of months, and we might track my calorie intake. I'm pretty consistent with what I eat. Like I'm pretty plain, so like I eat the same things nearly every day. Like,
yeah, me too.
So it's like I know what I like. He will track it then for a couple of weeks, and it's like, right, it's pretty consistent, so just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I say that to people as well. We generally always eat the same foods. Takeaways here, the odd night.
Yeah, that's legit. Like I'd have a takeaway. Like I have no problem having a takeaway. Like I'm not going to say I can't have that. Like, so burning it off anyway. So but yeah, I wouldn't be drinking alcohol in that. Like I don't really. Not really. But my coach encourages me to have a drink in that at times. Like it's just I'd be worried out a hangover. I suppose I'm getting on the years as well. So. It's more the hangover, but I'd have the odd drink. Like, I'm more into the shorts now than the pints. But nutrition, just kind of eating healthy. And
what's the community like within the racing crowd? You know, I know you talk about the Asian competitors.
Yeah, that's the number. Like a good point as well. Like in general, like 99% of the people you meet are like really sound, like really helpful. Like I don't know, that's the good thing. Like I have photos at home. I remember doing a talk there a while ago, It's like when I was in rehab, I thought I'd never do sport again, and then I have a photo home of like the lake shore in Chicago, like, and there's like South Americans, there's Mexicans, like Canadians, there's Spanish, Italian, like there's British, like a load of guys, different cultures, like that, and friends of that, in like different backgrounds, and that, like everyone has a different story. Like we all have similar levels of injury, but they've, like, whether they're like wounded shoulders or just different things altogether. Like it's really interesting. But everyone's really 99%. You get the odd one that's like, let him off by himself, kind of like, but yeah. But like, oh yeah, like really, like everyone gets on well. There's no, I don't know, like obviously you want to beat each other, but like it's fair, and like that's it. Like afterwards, your friends again, and that type of thing. Yeah, so
deadly.
Yeah.
What's some of the highlights for you doing the race and places you've seen, people you've met? I'm sure it's created some amazing opportunities and experiences for you.
Yeah, some of my highlights probably aren't even the biggest things, really. Yeah. Like still doing that double marathon for the first time, like nearly killed me. Like, but that's still one of my biggest achievements. Like kind of that I managed to finish it. Kind of obviously Rio, I didn't get to really experience. I got sick over in Rio, like, so I didn't get to go to the opening ceremony. Then the marathon was the last event, so I didn't get to go to the closing ceremony. I spent a week in bed sick. So I didn't get to experience a lot, but it was still a great experience. Like, and I'm lucky that I got to, like, the marathon was on the Copacabana beach type thing, like, so trying to keep your eyes on the road, like, but but yeah, like that's obviously one of my big my best experiences. I suppose being picked for the Paralympics team, like the announcement and that, like, and being able to, you could only bring one person. I brought, like, my mum, like, and obviously that was really, like, for her, like, really proud as well, especially like she'd been on the journey with me, and thinking back to 2007 as well, like, so it was great for me to be able to bring her. It's like I came full circle in that, like, so
savage.
Oh yeah, like other marathons and that, like, they're all different experiences. Like I've had a couple of odd experiences as well. Like, I don't, like, when I started, there was a couple of guys that were really supportive, that they're still racing now. One of them's around 60 and he's up the north, like, and they were established up the north. So I started going up and racing, like Larne, Lisburn. There was a Lisburn half, Omagh half. I remember doing the Omagh half, and there was grass in the middle of the country road, and I came around it, and I wasn't even wearing a helmet at this stage. Like, barely even knew how to fucking push the chair, and there's a tractor coming around the corner, and smacked the brakes. I was lucky I didn't, like, there was nothing. It didn't really come that close. But then I done the Belfast half marathon, like, a couple of years ago. I haven't gone on since. And I remember, like, there was a cyclist with me, but, like, I went out in front, and I remember, like, he was gone, like, and I was like, I looked around after a while. Now I had my Garmin on, so I knew, like, I was tracking my, like, what distance I gone. Like, I was like, "Jeez, there's no one around. Like, what's the story going on here?" Like, I was out on the motorway and all, like, and there was, like, Arctic trucks and all, like, beating. I was like, "Did I not know there's a race going on here?" Like, and then I stopped my Garmin at, like, the half marathon distance, and I was like, where the fuck am I? Like, and I was in Belfast city centre, like, and I was 9 miles away from the finish line, like, completely, like, so they just let me off, like. So I literally got lost. Like,
you took a wrong turn or something?
It'd be like me going down O'Connell Street on a Sunday afternoon with a helmet on me and in this weird looking chair, like, and I said, looks I was getting, yeah. I don't know whether I took a wrong turn or just, well, I obviously did at some stage, but they just let me on, like, and another guy.
How did you get back?
Oh, the police up the north were out looking for me, like.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so I didn't even finish it, like. They wanted me to go over the line at the finish. I said, I'm not going over the line, like.
You were embarrassed, eh?
Yeah, and yeah, that was a strange. Like, other guys got lost in the botanical gardens and he couldn't find his way out or something, like, so.
The botanical gardens of Dublin?
In Belfast, yeah.
Oh, Belfast.
He didn't make down that far, no. The ones up there, yeah. So that was, but that's the last time I raced up the north, kind of, yeah. But I had a bad old crash in the. It's funny, like, as well. The Great North Run in England, like. So a couple of years ago, like, they had, like, a pasta buffet the night before, but they're doing a technical meeting as well. Yeah. So usually at the meeting they give you out your race numbers and that, like, and they'll give you your chip or that, and if there's any dangerous corners, they'll give you the start grid. So you're putting your, like the Formula 1, like, kind of, they'll put you, you're given, like, a grid position, like, probably based on your PB and that, and if there's any like tricky corners that they'll go through. My first time doing the Great North Run, must have been tucking into the passa, but they mentioned this corner around mile 11, like that I didn't see that the night before. Like, I remember coming down and looking up, and I was like, not making this, like, because there's only brakes in the front of the chair, so all your weight's at the back. So if you smack on the brake, it's just going to slide. Like, it's not going to stop you. Like, and I remember I tested the steering. Like, I tried to just see what way I could try and even think about taking the corner. Like, and I just gave it a little kind of turn the steering, and I was going up my wheel. I was like, not taking this and going too fast. Like, so there's bales of hay in front of me, like, and then a concrete wall. And I remember the screams. I was like spectators and all, like, and I was like, this is my accident all over again, like.
Fuck.
And I hit the bales of hay, and I went flying out of the chair and hit the wall. Like. So that was a bad a scary experience at the time, but it's funny as well. Must have had a mouthful of passing to me the night before, like. But
you didn't read the script?
No, and then the year after I was going down, I was like, this actually isn't as bad as it wasn't even as bad as I thought it was, like. So I nursed myself down at the year after, yeah. Damn. So I learned the hard way, but yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You're in the wheelchair now 12 years, isn't it?
Yeah, 12 years there a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
How far along do you think Ireland have come in regards to inclusion for people in wheelchairs? What's your thoughts on that? Are we as inclusive? And I know everyone has a different perspective on it. What's your take on it? 12 years gone now.
I think it's to probably come on, but maybe not to the same level as like some of the other countries in that way. Yeah. Like I don't get a lot of trouble, like, or hassle or that, but I'd see people like wheelchair accessible toilets is a big thing, like they're used as a storage room basically, like, or they're not fit for purpose or that, like. So it can be frustrating, like if you're in a restaurant or in a bar, like, and things like that. But it has got better, like, or the term wheelchair accessible, like especially with hotels and that, like what their interpretation of accessible is and my interpretation is completely different. Like, a lot of them would think wheelchair accessible is you can get into the room, like, and it's accessible, like
the door frames fit.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. You can get in and like, but then there's like, well, I don't need an awful, like, but I'll get by with a bar, like, but people need like wet rooms and that, like, and a lot of time that's not the case, like. But I don't know, yeah, like, I'm not honestly sure. Like, I've never had a bad experience really. Like, and I've been lucky, like the.
I just think, like, as far as travelling concerned, like, I have had Graham Merrigan on, I've had other wheelchair users been on, and I just don't think Ireland
travel like even
CIE.
Yeah,
Dart.
see, I'm lucky. I live out in the sticks, and I drive. I've never actually been on a Dublin bus or a CIE bus or anything like that. Like, so I can, like, I see people saying, like, there's obviously the two spots, like, and if there's a buggy there, like, my girlfriend was working with a guy that's in a wheelchair, and like, for him getting to work, like, he obviously needs one of them two spots, and he knows what time bus he has to get. But sure, if someday he comes along and there's a buggy or two buggies on it, he has to wait for his next bus, like. So like, that type of thing can be very frustrating. But I'm lucky that I don't rely on buses or that, thankfully, around here. But I can understand in that regard, and that, like. But I've never been on the Dart or either. I know there can be trouble with that as well. But people's mentality, like, I think is definitely, in my experience, like, they've come around a bit. Alright, yeah, like, they don't look at you like I don't get the pats on the back anymore, like, that you're.
Something tells me though that I don't know if you'd even see it.
You're just immune, and that's it. Being honest, like,
you have a fantastic attitude, and I can feel that off you. I'm
probably not the best person in some ways to ask, because I'm oblivious to it a lot of time.
I get
that.
Man
could be slagging me behind my back, and
you don't give a bollocks.
I'm going too fast, and but no, like, I've never had a bad experience. Like, even flying in it, like, I hear people say, like, horrendous, like even with Ryanair, like, and people go, I've never had a bad experience, like, where it's like any of the airlines, like, I'm going anywhere, like, and like, you're treated like, I've had bad experience in Turkey, like, where they look down here, that type. But like, here they're great. Like, I think up in Dublin Airport, like, they do a really good job. That's about the only transport kind of that I've used, if you want to call it public transport. Like, I've never been on the Dart.
We've had people on the show, Sasha Decker, and she's a a platinum whole card for a card, whatever that thing is, for some airline. They were doing a survey, and they gave it to all the able-bodied people. They didn't give it to her, and she's like, "Do you not give me one?" She goes, "Oh, we don't see wheelchair users as passengers."
All right, yeah.
And there was a few other things, and I was like, "Jesus Christ, is Ireland that bad? Is life that bad?" And, you know, and I was thinking, but your attitude is fantastic.
Yeah, well, but that's it. But I've never had
and that's just from your perspective. I totally get that.
Like, it would obviously change if I had bad experience with it, but I don't think I've ever had. Like, I'm even trying to think now, like it's strange, even even when I worked in the bank and that, like the way people's perception change. Like, so you're meeting people for the first time. I got good at sussing people out, like especially like the farmers, and they'll be looking at you like. And I want to say something like, and it's like they feel bad, like sorry for you, and they're looking at you and that, and it's a bit of awkward like at first, but then when they realise I don't really, it doesn't bother me, like then they'll start asking you, like, and then you end up having a great conversation with them, like, because I think they think that I'll be real sensitive about it, like, well, it's just like, well, sure, this is what happened to me and this is it, like, and then they'll start asking me, and they can ask me whatever they want, like, and just end up having the chat, like, sure, you know, like, so maybe
it's your attitude.
But I got good at sussing people out, like, and I honestly never really had, like, I don't get people really like staring at me or that type of thing, or that, like, and get good support in the race chair, like, and it would be people cheer, like, just in the park, even people like just like encouraging and that type of thing, like, so like that's it's good, like, I've never really had anyone do anything on me, like,
I'm thinking of doing a project, and I was talking just a small bit about it, to raise awareness for people in wheelchairs and people with disabilities. I work on brain injury, and I'm always on about insight and awareness, but I don't know intrinsically what it's like to have a disability. And I'd like to know, I'd like to appreciate that, because I work in this environment, because I think I'm kind of sheltered in here. So I was thinking of doing, as I said to you, maybe doing a travel across Dublin in a wheelchair, or doing a marathon, and doing maybe a 5k blindfolded. What would you reckon people's perceptions would be, the wheelchair users? Would that be frowned upon, or would that be okay? Would people get insulted by an able-bodied person jumping in a chair and doing a marathon, or I wouldn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or, you know.
But once you don't beat me times, like, that'll be, I'll have her feelings.
Look at the ego straight away. I don't give a fuck what you do, just you don't beat me.
Slash your tire. I think that would be great. Like, people would, because it would give a better, like,
I want to film it.
Yeah, because it'd be hard for us to explain, like, kind of like, it's not the same, like, so I don't know, like, to see what, like, and obviously it's challenging as well, like, and I think people would appreciate that you've put in, like, the effort, and then you can honestly say how hard it is and things like that, because I think that's, like, people sometimes think that the sports are just like it's just a little participation. And
I've played wheelchair basketball here, and it's tough as fuck. It's brilliant crack, better actually than normal basketball, but it's tough as fuck. It's brilliant. But when you finish, you can get up and walk out of the chair. And I got out of the chair, and it just felt odd for me. I don't know what it was. And I just said, I think I want to do more of that. I don't know. There's some draws we do, because I want to feel it. As I work with brain injury patients, I'm always talking about insight and awareness and memory and applying your strategies. But I don't know what it's like to develop insight and awareness around an injury and a disability. And I'd like to get a little feel of it.
No, I think it'd be really good, I don't know, like, definitely if it raises awareness, like, sure, you're on a winner straight away, and like,
just be afraid, you know, as you say, people can be a little bit PC and that's not so cool, or I don't know.
I honestly, I couldn't see that, like,
it comes from a good place,
especially if you document it, like, and you show the effort that got you to do it and things like that you didn't just get into the chair and push it, like, or that it's actually, there's not a motor on it, like, and that it actually is, like, it's a true sport, like, and like the Paralympics still does lag behind a bit, like, like, it's not, a Paralympic star does not get the same, in majority of cases, like, the same, I suppose, exposure or anything like that an Olympic star gets, like,
of course.
Like, you look at Jason Smith, like, who's a phenomenal athlete, like, even as to compete as an able-bodied Olympic athlete, he's one of the fastest Irishmen ever, like, for sure. He doesn't get anything near, like, the top kind of track and field stars, able-bodied do in the world, like, and he's obviously like I honestly believe he's hugely underappreciated, kind of like, so.
We don't do it in Ireland for the stars. Just look at the likes of Katie Taylor for years, phenomenal athlete. Like, just okay was boxing, and that's not kind of accepted among the elitists and the middle class views.
If you even look what Katie Taylor's doing, like, there's a 3 world titles, like, she has now, like.
Did you watch that documentary?
It's
fantastic.
Class,
what an amazing human being. Like, can't get over it.
No, she's class, and like multi-talented as well, like.
Play ball.
But and even to come back from that, like, to come back from the Olympics, and like that could have been, like, that could have broke a lot of people. Like, she'd done it all, like, and you feel like you're on the slide, but she's come back like stronger than ever, like.
And the stuff for her family, and then going on then to professionalism. It's unbelievable.
Oh, she's like she's such a role model for everyone in our league. But you look at what she's done, like, if she'd done that in the male boxing circuit, like, she would be like phenomenal, like. But it's just, she still doesn't get the credit that she deserves. Like, I think people are starting to kind of come around to her more, like, but like, it's truly remarkable what she's doing, like.
I was talking to Paddy Collins there in one of the interviews, the last one, the one before, and he was talking about his brother Steve Collins. You know, would you tell me a story about where he said he's going to fight Roy Jones Jr. and he's going to beat him? And that was laughed at in Ireland. People were like, that's all a joke about. He really believed that, but everyone here just put him down. He didn't get the recognition even back then. The achievement that he made.
When was that, last year? Was it, or
the interview with Steve Collins?
That he was going to fight him, or
years ago. Years ago when he bet Eubank, he said, I want to fight Jones Jr. I'm going to beat him, and everyone laughed. And I know he's still banging on to this day that he still wants to fight. They want to fight each other. That's still going. The 2 old lads in the car back having a knock. But years ago he said it, and again, even when he bet Eubank, I don't think Ireland got behind him. He didn't get the recognition for that. We kind of do that. We have a habit of keeping each other in place. But it kind of suppresses people as well, doesn't it?
Then you look at fucking McGregor, and everyone got in behind him really, like. But I don't know. It's
a strange one, isn't it?
It's a strange one, Maybe not so much anymore. Like, I think he's kind of lost a bit of his.
It's hard to watch sometimes, isn't it?
I don't know. I kind of got off money, but it's strange with Eubank, like, because often talked to my dad about, like, because he would go on about that fight, like, but he completely spooked out Eubank, didn't he? Is that what it was? Tony
Quinn, and he got hypnotised by
Tony Quinn or something. There was something about the weigh-in or something as well, was it? I can't remember what he was doing at the weigh-in or something like that, or just before the weigh-in there, but
I thought he had him hypnotised. I think he said
that he couldn't hit him, or was that something? But like, did he beat him twice?
He bet him in bet him in Cork. He bet him twice.
Phenomenal,
deadly. It was unbelievable. I remember that. Like, I don't remember a lot of things, but that I definitely do. Come here, we're coming up to over an hour, so I'm mindful of your time. What's the one thing you'd like people to take away from this interview after listening to it?
Just I suppose to everyone, like, just I don't know, like, to like, there's kind of, I suppose, light. There's always good at the end. Like, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like, if you work hard enough for something, like anything, whether it's like academic or that, like, you get your rewards. Like, you don't get anything easy, I suppose. But then, like, hopefully there's a lot of people out there that know people involved with, like, that have, whether it's physical challenges or that, like, and like, look, just don't let it hold you back and plough on. So
definitely.
That's it.
Look, thanks very much for coming on the show. I've had the chats with you a couple of times, and I'm blown away by your strength of character. It's just, it's gigantic. It's unreal. I know
I'll go outside and cry in the car now or something. But
I don't care. But your attitude to life, your attitude to your disability, your attitude to your training, like even your perception around disabilities and inclusion, it's phenomenal. I
think that's as I said, like, the accident made me a better person. It mentally challenged me, and I never got depressed, but it definitely made me stronger. Like, that I had to be mentally stronger, and I don't know, like, just kind of, it's instilled in me now, like, that I don't know, like, that I won't give in or that clear thing, like, so unless it's chocolate or something.
Well, good luck in Boston and good luck in Tokyo.
Hopefully.
Paddy Monahan.
I have to get there yet, but you see.
An absolute legend.
Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot, sir.